Wobble up and dum dum motherfuckers. What is going on, everyone? It is I. It is everyone's favorite jack of all trades with a foul mouth, coming urban. And this is November 10th, 2025. You're probably wondering, what's that? Well, famous date in history, going 50 years ago today. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald, which is depicted here in human form, carrying iron ore on the Great Lakes, fighting the Witch of November, as done by Lintosa T, fought the gales in November and sank, with all 29 of her crew with her. And today it is the 50th anniversary of the tragic sinking of this legendary vessel of the Great Lakes. And so, today guys, I want to do a little bit, I wanted to do a little bit of a discussion video with you about the ship and about her last voyage and all that. By the way, special shout out to my friend Lintosa T for drawing that picture, which I actually think is really cool. He actually did another drawing of just Edmund Fitzgerald herself, just kind of a portrait of her, which I wish I would have saved that picture, but I didn't. If you see this, you're fucking awesome. Anyway, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, as you can see here, yes, I got more of these. It's good, but that bitterness just, woo. It hits. Anyway, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, at the time when she was built, she was the largest freighter on the Great Lakes, and prior to that was the SS Carl Bradley, which, just like the Edmund Fitzgerald, the Carl Bradley sank as well, much earlier on before Edmund Fitzgerald did, but still. I've noticed that ships that have been titled the biggest on the Great Lakes, they tend to have something bad happen to them, they fucking sink. But anyway, she was commissioned by the Mutual Bank of Milwaukee. She was built by the Great Lakes, Shipbuilding Works. I believe that's what it was, Great Lakes Shipbuilding Works. She was built, in, I believe, Michigan, where she was built, like the late 1950s. I used to know a hell lot more about this because I had built a large-scale cardboard model of the Edmund Fitzgerald that was, similar to what I built, like my SS United States and my SS America models. Fully detailed, everything in lines. I used original blueprints and drawings from the Great Lakes Great Lakes Engineering Works. That's who built her. And also used a shit ton of pictures. But sadly, though, when I was moving, I didn't have any room to have her, so I gave her to an older guy that I knew. He was really interested. He was fascinated by the Edmund Fitzgerald, and I gave the model to him, and I found out about a month or so ago he died. And I wonder if I could contact, if there's any way I can get a hold of his wife and ask if they still have that model, because if they do and they want to try to get rid of it, I would definitely like to have it back. Great. I would fucking love to have that model back. But anyway, the Edmund Fitzgerald was built by Great Lakes Engineering Works in the late 50s. She was named in honor of the president of the bank at the time, which his name was Edmund Fitzgerald. She was christened by his wife. And crazy thing is, when the ship was launched, made a much bigger wave than they expected, destroyed several of the viewing platforms, and the ship moved so quick, hit the dock on the other side and caused some damage. And that was the thing with the Mighty Fitz throughout her life. She had series of incidents, including running into another cargo vessel, smacking herself into the Sioux locks multiple times, grounding herself on a sandbank a couple times, losing one of her anchors in the river, and then they actually found the anchor years later and it's on display somewhere. But she was known for being a very technologically advanced ship and a very safe ship. And the nicknames she had include the Mighty Fitz, the Big Fitz, the Toledo Express, the Fitzgerald, the Edmund, and the Queen of the Great Lakes. And from the late 1950s until 1975, she basically had one job, and that was to deliver taconite, which is iron ore pellets, from Wisconsin down to Michigan and Ohio, to where they could be turned into steel for the steel industry and the automotive industry. And in 1975, the ship had left Superior, Wisconsin with 26,000 some odd tons of taconite to be taken to Zug Island in Detroit. Okay. Some people say she was heading to Ohio. She did make quite a few trips to Ohio in the 1975 season, but this last run was to Zug Island, and it was for steel production for, I believe they said for Chrysler. I believe this steel was only produced for Chrysler, I think. But anyway, the ship had left Superior, Wisconsin a day or so beforehand under the command of Captain Ernest McSorley. And then all of a sudden, out of basically nowhere, this massive winter storm had popped up, as the mariners called the gales of November, or the witch of November. She came early. And for many, many hours, the ship slogged and fought her way through these massive storms. And on the Great Lakes, you would think that the storms would be nothing, but these storms were like what you'd fucking find on the ocean. And then, not too long beforehand, the Edmund Fitzgerald, basically sank. And the ship that was following her was the Anderson, which the ship is still in service today, still carrying freight on the Great Lakes. Was following behind her because Fitzgerald didn't have no communications, had no radar or nothing. So they were radioing radar positions to the Fitzgerald, and not too long after that, Fitzgerald disappeared and sank with all 29 men. Worst catastrophe on the Great Lakes. So, and 50 years later, people still think about it. That same year, Gordon Lightfoot came out with one of his most famous songs about the ship. And I would like to sing it for you guys now, before I do. Big drink for the crew. The song's called Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and it goes a little something like this. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down on the big lake they call Kitchagoonie. The lake is said never give up or dead when the skies in November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November come early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some middle of Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firm when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. And later that night, when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and a wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait, when the gales of November come slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain, in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook came on deck, saying, "Fellas, it's too rough to feed you." At 7 p.m. the main hatchway came in, said, "Fellas, it's been good to know ya." The captain wired in, had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later at night, when the lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn minutes to hours? The searchers all said they'd have made Whitefish Bay. They put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up, they might have capsized, may have broke deep and took water. But all that remains are the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. And Lake Huron rose superior things in the rooms of a rice-water mansion. Old Michigan seems like a young man's dream. The isles and bays are for sportsmen. And further below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. And the iron boats go as the mariners all know, with the gales of November come early. In a musty old hall in Detroit they prayed, in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed until it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down on the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never give up her dead when the gales of November come early. Thank you. And to end this, just give a little bit of a moment of silence as we raise a toast to the crew of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald. God bless them and have their drink. Pretty stout shit. So, thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, and God bless the crew of the Edmund Fitzgerald and the ship herself. It's Commodore Irvin saying, God bless you all, and Jesus is good, Lord, love you all very much, and I'll catch you one more trade when hell one knows, and anchors away, motherfuckers, and God bless the crew of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and may they live on forever. Peace.